Hello everyone, this is Kia with Mom Life Coaching. So today I want to talk to you guys about the Matrix. So it's a very big topic. It goes into a lot of things that I want to talk about. So the the signal secretary, like the what is that word? This girl used this word and I can't remember the word. So like a collaboration of all of the worlds. So when you have ADHD and then you're spiritually gifted and then you are Hmong and then you are living in America, and this is like everything, it just all goes together. It all goes together. When we were living back in Thailand back in the day, we were just or Hmong Sanaya, and all we know is just about the Hmong world and the tradition, the culture. But then we move into living here in America, like what are those words? What are those what does it look like when you guys say tao koning and all that stuff? So for mechanic, it's you're chosen. You've been chosen. There's so many. They all go together. They all go together. There is not one world. It's not. They're all the same. It's all the same. We're all energy. We're all energy. So because we're all energy and we all sync together, how the world works. It's so The Matrix. Okay. So you guys seen that movie, The Matrix, right? I know you guys seen the movie, The Matrix. And there's so much truth in that movie. So much truth. If go back and rewatch it. I would rewatch it again, not too long ago, but rewatching it and just how eye-opening it is for me. It's so eye-opening. Because it's true. There's so much truth to the world. Okay, so let's talk about the 3D world. So the 3D world is the world that we live in right now. Okay, we live in this 3D world. Okay, and then and then there's a 5D world where all the spiritual stuff happens. Okay, there's so much spiritual stuff that happens around us and we don't even realize it, because I just learned that only 5% of people are actually spiritually awakened, and 90% of the people are still asleep and still haven't been awoken up to it. So let me explain it in the 3D world so that you guys can understand. And then I'm going to go talk about the 5D world so that you guys can understand, because they're all together. They're all together. They are synced in all together. So, okay, if you guys look around you, there's so many lawsuits going on right now. There's so many lawsuits going on right now about Fortnite, about Roblox, what is the other ones? Call of Duty. So all of those are literally making people go crazy. They're doing these things thinking that what they see is real, because they're in the Matrix. You guys are literally putting your guys' kids in the Matrix, thinking that these things are real when it's not real. Okay, none of it is real. My daughter, she's 5, and sometimes when she sees certain things, she'll watch a certain movie and she'll be like, "Mommy, was that real? Did they die?" And I'm like, no, it's just a movie. Nobody died. It's just a movie. These people are still alive. It's just a movie. They're just playing as actors. It's not real. So when you put your guys' kids in this vulnerability or this place, which is the Matrix, right? You guys put them in there, and people who created these video games and all these stuff, these kids cannot comprehend in their head because they're young, right? When they're young, their mind is not completely formed. So when you guys throw your guys' kids in this Matrix, right? They're gonna think, oh my gosh, this is real life stuff. Like, with Call of Duty, why all these kids start going up and shooting places, because they think it's real. And nobody's telling them that it's not real. It's not real. It's not a real place. The Matrix is not a real place, okay? It's not good for kids to sit on electronics for hours. And you guys don't think that it's going to mess with their brain. It is going to mess with their brain. I'm telling you guys right now, there's lawsuit going on right now talking about Roblox, talking about Minecraft, all of these stuff. Why are there lawsuits? Because it's messing with these kids' brain. It's messing with these kids' brain. Why do you allow your kids to sit on the internet, into the matrix? Into the matrix. You guys are only effing their brain up. You guys are effing their brain up, okay? Because there are kids, their brain is still developing. And when you do not limit them on what they're watching, limit them on electronic all together, you know? I don't even allow, if I even do allow my kids to go onto the electronic, it's 30 minutes, maybe an hour, you know, and that's it. I'm not allowing them to sit onto their tablet, sit on their phone, and use the Matrix as a babysitter, okay? You guys when you guys give your guys kids electronics, you guys, electronic is a babysitter to you guys, okay? Stop allowing the Matrix to babysit your guys' kids, okay? And every time I always tell my kids, when you guys go into the Matrix, just like how the movie The Matrix, you know, every time he goes back into the Matrix, he's learning from it. He's learning and understanding certain things. So I always tell my kids, even if you guys go into the Matrix, make it useful. Use it for the better of the good. Google certain things, you know. If you guys want to know certain things, Google it. You know, find the truth of the world. I always tell my kids that, like, whatever it is you guys are doing, make sure it's for the better of the good. And you're researching and you're Googling and you're thinking of all these better things when you go into the Matrix. But when you're using the Matrix for nothing more than the purpose of what the internet is supposed to be for, then you are doing too much, and it's gonna corrupt. It's gonna corrupt your guys' kids. Look around you guys. Look around you guys. Why is all this stuff happening, right? All this stuff. Because you guys as parents, you guys need to understand that when you guys put your guys' kids in the Matrix, you guys, they're very, very vulnerable kids. And they can't think for themselves. They can't. So you have to guide and help them. And when you try to guide and help them, you have to really monitor. It, okay? And it's happening all over. People think it's just normal. Just, oh, here, have the phone. Like, you go out to eat, and you see these parents have their kids on the phone. Okay, because these kids don't know how to sit still and just talk. Like, these kids don't know how to just talk. Like, it's so hard for these kids to talk and communicate, to have a normal social conversation. Why? Because you guys are allowing your kids to be on these tablets, to go into the Matrix, and none of it is even realistic. You know, yes, they try to make it as realistic as they want. I don't know. They're the one getting sued, not me. So I don't know. I don't know, but I don't condone into it. And the reason why I don't condone to it, because I can see how it messes with the kid's head. And when I see that it messes with the kid's head, you know, like I keep telling you guys, you want better, do better. You want to be the change that you want, then you gotta be the one. You gotta stop these things. And then you guys sit there and you guys wonder, oh, how come my kid is like this? and I had an argument with this girl because she told me that allowing her kids to watch wherever the hell it is that they watch, it helps with their anxiety. Um, cool. I love that for you. To each his own. But don't ask me why my kids are so much better at doing other things and your kids can't keep up. It's because I don't allow my kids to do certain things. Like I don't find it very normal to allow my kids to watch YouTube about some kid playing games when my kid is watching another kid play a game. Like, what? Why don't you guys just go and play games? Why do you guys need to watch somebody else play games? Like, where's your creativity? What happened to that? Like, no. I don't condone into that. If you want to do what the hell they're doing, then why don't you just go do what the hell they're doing? Why are you watching other people do what the hell they're doing? I don't know. That's just weird to me. It's weird to me. Like, no. I mean, to each his own. To each his own. But if you guys wonder why your kids don't act right, you guys are giving them too much internet. Too much. It's too much. It's driving me. Why can't we go back to how we used to do it? How we used to do it. Where we had to sit at a table and actually talk and engage to one another. And not be looking at a screen. Like that's just crazy to me. It's crazy. And why do you guys allow it? I personally don't think it's going to help with anybody's anxiety. That's an inner child thing. That's an inner problem thing. And you're just using other tactic to not really solve what your problem is. You're just pushing it under the rug. Like if you truly have anxiety, right? There are other ways, other healthier ways, other than to use another tactic for your brain to be busy and it's distracted with all these outside noise, when honestly it's you gotta heal the inner you. And then when you can learn to heal the inner you can help your kids so like you're not doing the same thing. You're not giving what you learned from the get-go to your kids, so that your kids don't get anxiety, so your kids don't be stressed or blah blah blah. And then you know what the crazy thing is? These kids are 10 and 11 years old. I don't understand how they can be stressed and have anxiety. Yes, they can, but why don't you teach them so that they don't have anxiety? Why don't you teach them about breathing skills? Why don't you teach them about self-confidence? Why don't you teach them to talk to themselves, highly about themselves? And why don't you teach them how to love themselves so that they don't cause these things, that they don't go into the social norm of what it is that they're supposed to be and supposed to do? Why don't you teach them how to learn how to be them authentic self? I mean, I don't know. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Why don't you engage them in sports to help grow them? To help grow them. Like, they are just kids, but if you see that, hey, if you try this and this and this, it might be helpful. Let's try it. What's the worst that can happen? And that's what you're supposed to do as a parent. It's not about forcing your kids. It's about helping them, growing them, compromising with them. Well, let's try this for a little bit, see where it goes. And I'm not saying that I'm perfect. By all means, I am not perfect. This is not about me being perfect. This is just about me learning too as a mother. And because I learned the blueprint of how to be a mother, that I'm out here trying to teach you guys. Because I had my daughter when I was 17. Nobody taught me how to be a mom. I didn't know. I learned myself too. And as I'm learning and growing, and these things are helping me, that if these things help you guys, great. Okay? There's so much more about the Matrix that I want to talk about, but that is one major point that I do want to point out to you guys, to stop allowing your kids to be on the phone, screen time, YouTube, just the internet itself, because you're exposing your children to things you don't even know. And then I'm afraid of my kids too, to go to other people's and hang out with them, because I don't know what they're going to be exposed to, you know, because other kids are exposed to other things, and my kids are only exposed to the things that I know what I'm exposing them to, you know. So let's keep talking about this, okay? So yes, the internet and everything, it makes people do things, especially kids, and if you don't learn how to help them and navigate them and tell them, like, these things aren't real, don't do what you see on TV, you know. Or even better yet, even if you don't even have to want to explain all that, make sure it's PG-13. Make sure it's for mature only. Read the caption. You know, I mean, I want to tell you guys something, and it's gonna be very triggering. But I want to talk to you guys about sex, sex, and porn. So I'm gonna call it the P word, and then every time I say sex, I'm gonna just spell it out, okay? So I was exposed to porn when I was very, very young. I was exposed to it. And we don't, like I keep saying, we don't know what people are exposed, what the children are exposed to in this world. That's why it's so scary, right? I was exposed to porn when I was a very, very young girl. And it was very, very bizarre to me, okay? And I think that's where, like, I got a little fucked up in the head. Because when you're a kid and you're seeing things that does not make sense, like, what are they actually doing? Well, you know, there's so many things. And the P industry has gotten very, very brutal throughout the years, okay? It's gotten brutal. Like, girls sucking on things that is not human, okay? There's gagging involved. They call it ATM. That means ass to mouth. There's so many crazy stuff. You know, you talk about the red room. I mean, 50 Shades of Grey is the perfect example. It's the perfect example, okay? So when you're exposed to all these things, okay, and your kids are being exposed, right? And you don't know, or somehow, and you know, when they're exposed, they think that's what it's supposed to be. They think that's what sex is supposed to be, okay? Sex is not supposed to be like that, okay? It is supposed to be love. It's supposed to be compassion. It's supposed to be caring. You know, you are exchanging energy, and that's what love is. And you're not supposed to be going around, you know, having sex with everybody in this whole town. That's not what love is entail. That's not what it is. You know, when you are exposed at a young age to PRN, you think in your head, oh, that's what love is. That's what sex is. But when you are exposing your kids to these things, into the matrix, right? It's not real, okay? The hair pulling, the gagging, the slapping, the intense, you know, that's not what it is. That's not what it is. And when I was exposed to that at a young age, you know, especially for a girl, you know, you have a thought in your head thinking that, oh, you're supposed to look like that. You know, oh, well, I gotta fix my hair, make sure it looks. It's not about that. It's not about that, period. It's not about how you looking. It's not about how many men you can do. It's not about what you can do. You know, ATM, ass to mouth. It's not about that, period. It was never about that. It was about the connection that you make with somebody. When you lay with somebody, you truly lay with the person and you are in love. In love. That person doesn't want to hurt you. That person doesn't want to choke you. That person is trying to make compassion, intimate love making. It's not how the porn star make it out to be. And they have gotten really intense throughout the years, okay? But that's what I'm saying. When you guys allow your kids to be exposed, and sometimes I'm not trying to blame the parent or everybody. It's sometimes the kids, other kids show the other kids, and you get exposed to it. You know, like do you guys remember that stupid Two Girls in a Cup? Yeah, Two Girls in a Cup. That's the most nasty shit. Let's talk about that. That's not real. Okay, that's not real. You do not do that in real life. Do not. Did anybody attempt that? I hope nobody attempted that. It's not real. It's not real. It's not real. I was exposed to that because somebody showed it to me, okay? I'm sure other people have shown you guys too. But nobody is telling you guys these things, that it's not real. That's not real life. That's not what you do. You guys have to understand that. And then when you allow your kids to go into the matrix, and these kids are thinking, oh, that's what people do. That's what people do. No! No! Nobody ain't doing that. At least I ain't doing that. And if you're doing that, I don't know what's wrong with you. You need Oprah? You need Dr. Phil? Because that's not what we're doing out here. That's not it. We can't be doing that. That's not what we do out here, okay? You guys really need to limit. You need to limit your kids on what it is that they are watching, and limit them to only X amount of time, and make sure you know what they're watching. And when you know what they're watching, you really got to understand, and that's something that you even want your kids to watch. Do you guys see what I'm saying? Do you guys see that? Okay? So there's way more to it, but I'm just expressing, people in the 3D world. We're living in real life, okay? Real life. And then when you allow your kids to go into the matrix and allow them to watch and do whatever it is that they are seeing, and you guys need to monitor. You guys need to know what the hell you guys kids are watching. You know, my brother-in-law, his daughter spent $600 on Roblox. And she was over here not claiming that it was her, in denial. Nobody knows who took that $600. The bank was nice enough to refund the money, because Apple is good about that. Amazon is good about that. But other places, they're gonna be more strict. So they did get their money returned back. But it's the fact that the Matrix is controlling your kids. They're controlling. They know what they're doing. They're controlling your kids. Controlling this. And stealing from you as a parent. Stealing your money. And then being in denial and lying to you about it. That is not okay behavior. Do you see what the Matrix did to your kid? Do you not see that? They're stealing from you. Now they're lying to you. All because you cannot get a handle of the Matrix. Because you supposed to know better. And if you know better, you are supposed to do better. Because if anybody is in the same era and of generation of my era, so I'm 35 now, 36, our era, You guys know we were not raised like that. We were not raised on electronics, period. So because myself, I was not raised in electronic, so I don't allow that too much in my house. Yes, do they need it for school and certain things? Yes, I totally get that. But we need to monitor what they are playing, what they are watching, because the Matrix is watching. They want your kids to be so controlled that they start doing these things. And that's not okay. That's not okay for me. So if it's not okay for me, why do I feel like these kids need their phone? For what reason? You know? Yeah, I mean, think about it. How did we make it home? How did we survive without phones? Yeah. And if you need to get your kids a phone because they play sports and all this and all that, get them a flip phone. You just need to call me. You don't need FaceTime me. You just need to call me. You don't need to text me. You just call me. Let me know where you're at, bro. Let's figure this out. Oh yeah, I'm very harsh. I'm very harsh about this Matrix because I know what it can do. I know what it entails. And some of you guys are still asleep. You guys need to wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up to the reality. What's going on around us? Wake up. Wake up. You guys need to wake up because they're sucking your kids into the Matrix, controlling them. I had to tell that to my kids. No, it's not control. Yes, it is. How is it not controlling you? You wake up and you think about it. Don't lie to me. You guys wake up, you gotta check your phone. Yep. You wake up, you gotta check your phone. And I know it's hard, especially if you're running a business and all that stuff. Okay, yeah. Use it for the better of the good. Use it for the better of the good. But you have to understand, they're listening. I mean, think about it. They're listening. Because me and my husband, we'd be talking about something, and then boom, my husband will see it all over Facebook. All over Facebook. Or remember that time when they were saying all these Alexa were like hearing you guys and start talking back and stuff, It's real. It's true. It's real. It's a real thing. They're out there. They're listening. They know. So don't be so naive, guys. Don't be so naive. Don't just trust everybody. And that's half of my problem. Because since I've been spiritually awakened, even before I was spiritually awakened, like I've always knew these things, but I needed confirmation. And then when all these stuff start coming to light, it confirmed it for me that what I thought and what I knew is real. It's real. It's some real stuff. And not too long ago, I had a client. She came in and she was like telling me how her husband got her new phone and she set it all up, didn't even do anything with the phone, went to bed, woke up the next night, whole phone got hacked. Whole phone, everything. It's scary. Because my hypothesis is the phone already came bugged. It already came bugged. Somebody bugged that phone. Yeah. Oh, I know. Oh, I know. It's because they want to listen and they want to know what it is we're doing. So the better off you guys stay out of the Matrix, the better off you guys are going to be. Teach your kids to go learn how to play outside again. Teach your kids basketball. Play games with them. Play tag, hopscotch, all of those games. Everything that has entailed to do with the outside door and nothing to do with the Matrix. Put those phone away. Don't even bother looking at them. When it's your day off, take your day off. Don't even bother looking at that phone. Don't even look at it. Be present. Be present. And that's how you get a hold of your life. The more you can be present in the present time, the better off you're going to be. I promise you guys, learn. You guys have to really learn these things. You know, there's so many tactic that I'm doing to help my kids, and this is one of the tactic. One of the tactic. I limit, I don't allow, and I'm very harsh about my kids being on their phone. And we barely watch TV too. I don't even put the news on. I don't put the news on. I talk to my kids about the Bible. I talk to my kids about God. I read to them, you know. Start doing all these things, whatever it is in your time, my time, and those people, not the Gen Z, but younger, you know, like we never grew up doing any of those stuff. Okay, we never play Roblox. We play rocks. We don't play Roblox. We play rocks. We dig in the dirt. We got messy with our hand, you know? We got creative about our fort. Not Fortnite. We're building forts, you know? We're not playing Fortnite. We're actually going out there. I'm going out there building a whole fort with my kids. Yeah, I'm dragging the branch. They're carrying the other branch. And we're building this whole fort. We're not doing Fortnite. Y'all crazy. Wake up. Wake up. Stop allowing your kids to suck into the matrix. That's when they start being bad. That's when their brains start getting mushy. Because none of that crap has anything to do with intelligence. There's no emotional intelligence. None. None. So how can you say it's real? None of that. None of it. No emotional intelligence. You need to teach your kids to have that. And that's what makes us human, is having emotion. You guys have to understand this. You guys have to wake up. You need to wake up, okay? This is just a little bit about life and me teaching you guys life coaching. This is why I'm doing these things, because I see and I know that the more you guys allow these things to happen, the only more bad things are gonna happen, because your kid's brain, you know, they don't fully develop until like 25. Okay, so even at this young age, they only have this much of a brain, you know, that's going on. You're only jeopardizing them. You're only jeopardizing them. You need to give them creativity with their own hands. Allow them to figure out how to put the boxes together. And that's how they problem solve. And that's how they get better. So, this is one thing that you guys should and try to do. You know, this is what I do. I teach my kids these things, okay? So the matrix is the biggest thing that I talk about to my kids, okay? All right, so tomorrow I'm gonna teach you guys about, maybe not tomorrow, next video, I'm gonna teach you guys about what 3 things I use to help my boys become men. And then I teach my girls too, but it's, to me, these 3 things is very, very important that I teach my boys so that they can understand to become men, okay? So until next time, guys, all right? Peace, love, and light. Have an amazing day, okay? Take care, everybody.